Hey everybody, it's your boy K-Dog. Episode 3 of Expedition Adventures. We're in Val Verde, California, what used to be known as the Black Palm Springs. Here's the expedition. Let's go.
The area of modern-day Val Verde was part of the territory of the Tataviam people, who had migrated to the region before the mid-5th century AD. In the late 1700s, Spanish colonization began with the establishment of the San Fernando Mission, and the native population in the area were relocated from their ancestral settlements, referred to as rancherias, to the mission, where they were coerced into conversion and forced labor with the purpose of Christianization and assimilation. In 1804, the Santa Clarita Valley began to be used by the Spanish when the missionaries established the San Francisco Javier Estancia near the Santa Clarita and Cass State confluence to supplement agriculture and livestock production for the San Fernando Mission using native labor. By 1810, nearly the entire Tataviam population had been displaced to the mission lands and baptized under the Spanish mission system. Following the independence of Mexico, the missions went through a process of secularization, and mission lands were inventoried and sold off by the government as ranchos. The lands were supposed to be returned to the natives who had belonged to the missions, but this principle was not followed. The former estancia lands were sold as Rancho San Francisco by California Governor Juan Bautista Alvarado to his friend, Lieutenant Antonio de Valle, on January 22, 1839. The northern boundaries of this rancho ran along the north bank of the Santa Clara River up to an area near the current intersection of Chiquito Canyon Road and Henry Mayo Drive, and up along the mountains east of Val Verde. In 1842, Francisco Lopez, a relative of Del Valle, found gold in Placerita Canyon, leading to a small local gold rush in which Mexican settlers, many of them from Sonora, came to the rancho to mine gold. The original settlement of Val Verde was a short-lived boomtown built by colonial Mexican settlers. During the Mexican-American War, Del Valle destroyed the mine to prevent the United States from getting its control. The rancho stayed in the Del Valle family through the occupation and annexation of Alta California by the United States until 1862, when economic strife caused by floods and droughts forced him to sell most of the land to speculators, eventually ending up in the hands of Henry Newhall. By the early 1900s, the Janes family owned the 10,200-acre Val Verde Ranch, where the modern settlement is located. Laura C. Janes, a wealthy white woman from Pasadena, opened her ranch to African Americans in the 1910s in response to the discrimination they faced, which excluded them from public recreational facilities and prevented them from owning and developing property in certain areas. Under these conditions of segregation and discrimination, a group of prominent members of the African American communities in Los Angeles searched for locations to create a place of recreation for their families. The group was led by real estate entrepreneur Sidney Preston Dones and other investors like Norman O. Houston, Charlotta Bass, and Hattie S. Baldwin. The group ended up connecting with Laura C. Janes. In 1924, the modern settlement was founded by Sidney P. Dones and his group of investors. It was named Eureka Villa. That settlement was designed as a resort community for African Americans, as in that period, African Americans were frequently banned from public beaches and swimming pools. The town became known as the Black Palm Springs. By the 1930s, the area was wildly popular, mainly because it was one of only a few places African Americans could go for recreation. Other Southern California destinations included Lake Elsinore in Riverside County, a section of Venice Beach, Bruce's Beach in the South Bay, and a park in Pasadena, only open to African Americans 1 day a year. Two land tracts were being sold. One was the Eureka Villa tract, and the other was the Val Verde tract. Eureka Villa was the land running north-south along the east side of Chiquito Canyon Road, while Val Verde covered the east-west area of land. Newspaper promotions focused on Black Angelenos and encouraged them to invest in these properties to build vacation homes. 50 by 80 feet and larger sites were offered, starting at $75, including the full deed and title and a paid lifetime membership to the community club. Eventually, Dones and his group, along with Janes, discontinued their management of sales for the Val Verde tract, focusing only on Eureka Villa, and Harry M. Waterman, another white landowner who was instrumental in the development and management of the lots, took charge of Val Verde. In 1927, a 53-acre property was donated to the county by white landowners led by Harry M. Waterman, which later became Val Verde Park. By this time, the area was known simply as Val Verde, and Waterman continued to be an important developer of the community. Cafes, restaurants, and nightclubs were open, along with motels, lodges, and campgrounds. Entertainers like Ella Fitzgerald and Lena Horne made appearances in the town. By 1939, prices for the lots ranged from $99 to $400, and more than 50 homes had been built. The park continued to be the site of gatherings. In 1939, the cornerstone for the Olympic swimming pool was made. Okay, so now we're going to have to jump ahead a little bit, guys, because coming up soon, I have a local resident who allowed me to interview her. But look, despite the community having been built as a safe haven for African Americans, residents still face difficulties. In 1964, a home owned by Frank D. Godin, an African American World War II veteran and community developer, was burned down by members of the Klan who had a presence in the area at the time. WTF, right? Now let's meet Luz.
Okay, Val Verde used to be a black community, and Val Verde had its own store. It had its own park with a big pool, which is an Olympic pool. Our park is located on San Martin and then you go to your left. We used to have our own restaurant, your little coffee shop, which no longer there, but in the space I'm sitting here used to be the bar, 2 stories, but eventually it got too old and they did away with it. They also have their own golf place here in Val Verde because the people weren't allowed to go out into the community out there where they weren't wanted. And as time came by, Hispanics came into this community and we had less and less people, original people who actually lived here. And I came here in 1984, where on Sheridan Road there used to be only about 3 homes. Now you'll have maybe about 1 or 2 empty lots just on that block. And I'm still living here. It's now 2024. I'm very happy here, and neighbors around this area help each other one way or another. They care for each other. Fire department comes, ambulance comes, everybody's concerned if you're okay. Some neighbors even look after each other. If they need food, you'll bring them. We've had 1 or 2 homeless people here, and those people will come and bring those people a little bit of food and help them out in what case. We can't. Now,
Right.
Those homeless people are no longer here.
So there is a strong sense of community here,
Exactly.
still to this day.
It's still to this day.
And if you don't mind me asking, do you have children?
No, I don't, but I have nieces and nephews.
Okay, because I was going to
Here.
ask, what was it like raising children, here in this town?
Well, I love it. They're like my children.
Yeah.
I took care of them with my mom. It's a beautiful thing, providing the children don't get involved with other people, they're fine. If you don't get involved with the wrong people, everybody's okay. And by that I'm talking about the people with drugs,
Right.
or those who like to fight. We also have a bus that comes to our community and takes us all the way down to Santa Clarita. And you can also catch the metro from there. But we only
Right.
have one little station, that's a little store. One doctor's office, and that's straight down to San Martinez. And that's Dr. can't remember his name.
Got you.
Dixon.
And so you were telling me later this month is the Hispanic Heritage.
Yes, we also have a soccer for the children, and they have a group which would be almost like Boys and Girls Club for the children as well. And this is after school. Summertime, they have it throughout the day. This year, the kids couldn't be at the Olympic pool, so they had to go to Castaic, but that pool is open throughout the summer.
Is that the same pool from back in the day, or is it a whole new one?
The only thing is that pool, with the big earthquake we had, got
94,
damaged,
yeah, Northridge.
and now we have a little spa, and the pool is kind of divided. One
Okay.
for the middle-aged kids, and then the big
Oh,
one where they
that's-
can jump off the
Okay.
board.
I was wondering why it was like split into two parts now.
Exactly.
Okay, and so the manager lady here at the store was telling me that the old Methodist Church is still standing
Yes. We
on
have,
Lincoln.
We have two churches here in Val Verde. One they use for donating food, which would be for the pantry on Sundays and Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
We have another church on Morningside, which it does apply to the people who'd like to go there. We used to have another one where you would go to Val Verde, and that was for the Catholic people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's working like that anymore.
Okay.
The programs still apply to anybody who likes to go. I think it's a beautiful thing to be with the community.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Do you mind telling us your name?
My name is Luz Scudino.
Okay. And are you affiliated with any organizations community-wise here in town?
I have put together a senior program
Okay.
where these ladies can communicate with each other,
Uh-huh.
distance one another, and we go do little things like this. We
Yeah.
talk. We can have a little bit of breakfast there. We've gone on trips, like the Hollywood Bowl,
Oh, cool.
which is a beautiful thing. We had the Lion
Okay.
King.
Uh-huh. We got a
And
truck coming. They might be parking there. I just
It's
wanted to make sure we
places-
weren't in their way.
It's places where these ladies have not been to.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it gives them an experience to be out.
Okay.
These ladies do not drive. They do not speak English. They only speak Spanish.
Okay.
So my thing is to translate things for them.
Oh, okay.
That's another one of the things, the problems around this area, where you have to have somebody translate the language.
Right. Understood. Now, does the organization have a website or anything?
Well, they might, but I'm the kind of person I do not know how to go into.
Oh, okay,
There
understood.
is a lot of people
I was
in this
asking because, you know,
community.
I could put, you know, if so, I could put the link, you know, in the description for the video.
It's possible that other people do have it. We do have a neighborhood watch where people communicate with other people here in this area, and it also says what's going on.
Uh-huh.
We have what you call a free dump day,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
we're
you
right
know,
next to the dump.
I was, if you don't mind me asking, what was it like having the dump built right next to your
It's a
town?
horrible situation right now because you have that smell, and you get headaches, stomach aches, sometimes even drowsiness. All that smell is going on.
Any illnesses that people might be that people might think, you know, is from there or
It's
anything like that?
possible.
But it's not. So it's not like a. It's
Not
not a big topic
something-
or anything like
Not
that,
at the
right?
moment that I
Okay.
know of.
And when did they build the dump?
Oh, the dump has been here years and years ago. I don't know whether it was way before I was born.
And then I noticed right on the other side of the dump, you know, as I'm coming from Santa Clarita, there's that whole industrial.
Okay, yes. That
Area
used to
too.
That used to be pure onion fields, where I worked.
Onion fields.
Yes. And with Bosco Beach Farms, you had Down Bouquet, you had Copper Hill, you had Hasley Canyon, Pure Onion Fields.
Right. And now how Hasley Canyon's all developed, right?
All developed. You have Santa Clarita has been all developed. The mall, all Magic Mountain Parkway, New Hall Ranch Road, all that used to be Pure Onion Fields back in the day.
Oh wow, okay. And so there's not much for work here in Val Verde, right? Like most.
No.
But it's so close that right? It's not hopefully too big of an issue. Like, are people able to find jobs?
You have people that work in the Commerce Center.
Okay.
And you have people who work in the Industrial Center.
Right. So with the Industrial Center, would you say has it been a positive change or growth for the town, or negative?
The Industrial Center was one of the first ones located here, and people worked there. They used to go there. Now, like I said, Onion Fields was one of the main things because we have a lot of Hispanics that live here,
right,
which worked in the onion fields. But when Bosco Beach Farm left, Bosco said, those who want to follow me out to Oxnard, and a lot of people did not follow.
And a lot of people maybe couldn't afford to, or they couldn't afford to,
or
they had too much,
or
they had too much roots or ties here. And
that definitely as well.
Right.
Wow. So they ended up going to Industrial Center or get restaurant jobs, which because they didn't speak Spanish.
Right.
I mean English. I'm sorry.
So they were limited on what other job possibilities were available to them.
Exactly.
Right.
And now we are in a community where we have different cultures here. A lot more houses that you would see in the community as before.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You know so much about the history here.
Well, there's a lot more to be said. There's still a lot of the original homes here, especially where I'm located. I live in one of the original Val Verde houses.
Do you know what year it was built?
I don't know how old it's built.
Maybe an estimate?
That's hard to say. It had to be in the 60s at least.
Okay.
The house that belongs to my mom, that house is over 40 years old.
Okay.
As well. It's not one of the originals, but it's still old. And I like to look around and check out the houses that are actually Val Verde houses.
Right. And what was it like living here during the Northridge earthquake?
Oh, believe me, it was scary. You had everybody running out their houses. Some people even ran out naked.
Right, they didn't have the time, right?
They didn't have the time to put their clothes on.
So it's fair to say you knew what some of your neighbors looked like.
Oh, definitely I did, okay? Things broke all over the place, cracks on your houses, especially being that some of these houses were old houses.
A lot of them were already old in 1994, right?
Oh, definitely.
How bad of damage did your house get?
We got cracks on the walls, a couple pipes that broke that had to be replaced, the windows that broke had to be replaced.
Right.
The good thing was none of us were hurt.
Nobody was hurt.
Nobody was hurt, but
that's a blessing.
You had a lot of, I had little glass things that were my collection. Every single one of it broke. But the good thing was that none of us got hurt as far as that.
Yeah, so that's good, right? You were able to look at the bright side of things.
Exactly.
Right, that's so cool. You know what? I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and tell us a little bit about your town.
Yeah.
My name's Kevin.
My name's Liz Gudino. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. And this is my wife Jennifer, hanging out here with me. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. This little house where the white car is may be an original.
Okay.
So the next one to it definitely is an original.
Right.
Okay? And a lot of this information I have found to the past because my boyfriend has lived here for practically all his life.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you so much.
He did an interview like this. And he has not found the video because they said it could have gotten burnt.
Oh, really?
Back in the days in the Val Verde Park.
Right, okay.
Now, the one right next to this one is a church. That is also one of the original churches here in Val Verde.
Oh, wow.
And that's the one that's being used as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to people where I'm at in Simi Valley, and nobody's even heard
No.
of Val Verde, let alone knows the history of it.
Val Verde has been a very small community, and it's always put aside from everybody.
Yeah, and I was noticing when we were coming in off the highway, there was a sign, that said Val Verde Park
Yes.
this way, but it didn't even say there was a town here. It just
Down
said
San Martinez Road. Yes.
right. But so on the 126, it says turn right here at this road.
Yes.
There's a park here, but it doesn't even
It
say
doesn't
there's a town.
say where until you get all the way down to make a left-hand turn on San Martinez and Chiquito Canyon and
Yeah.
San Martinez.
Right. And so which one of these did you say was the church?
The church is right here.
Is the stucco one?
That one. Yeah. And that
This one right here.
Yes, it's on Hanstock and Morningside.
Okay. And so is this an actual road here, or does this just go to a parking lot?
And this takes you out towards the backside of Val Verde, going down Hanstock, and then you make a left, and it'll take you to the back side. You only have 2 exits out of Val Verde, and that's one of the hard things when you have the exits on this.
Right. Wow. And so this was a church with the double doors.
And still is a church being used.
Was this this wasn't the Methodist
No,
church?
Methodist
right?
church
That's on Lincoln.
is down Hanstock and Lincoln.
Okay, and how far is that from here?
Oh, that's a ways.
Okay, so that's something we might want to.
You might want to go in a car.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have the car parked back there at the park.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, no problem.
I can't walk that direction.
Understood. Oh yeah. No, I mean,
You caught me by surprise.
Well, I mean, I caught you by surprise, but here you are helping, and it's greatly appreciated.
And
So I'll take what I could get.
I love this sort of stuff and letting.
No, and it's obvious that you're you know the history. And we want to keep it alive. We want to tell the story, and then that's my thing. Is I was shocked to find out that nobody I knew even knew this town existed.
Yes, a lot of people don't. Not even some of the Santa Clarita people.
Right, and they're right there.
Yes.
I mean, most other small towns in my area, everyone knows at least that they exist.
Yes, because we are not really known for that. If you come this way over here.
Wow.
I believe this is one of the original ones right here.
This is a original house? Okay.
And that one is definitely an original house right here.
This little one on the left
This
too?
little one, exactly, on your left. And we live right behind that hill.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of the original ones. And back in the days, you did not have fences, anything.
Right.
It
It's
was
all
a
newer.
house, nothing. As you can see, this is brand new, put in just that moment.
Right.
You look at homes here, and you really don't have much of a fence.
Right.
That fence back there is what covers our property.
Okay. Okay, so you're on the other side of the hill.
On the other side of the hill. Of course, not my property, my mother-in-law's property.
Oh, okay. Understood. Right. Yeah, so I mean, there's just not a lot left, huh? And there's,
No.
I mean, there's not much resources
No, back in
or
the
anything,
days,
right?
back in the days, there's this little kind of motels, and we had the blacks come in for summertime and stay at those little areas.
Uh-huh.
Just like, I believe it's Earl Jason Jones, who just passed away.
James Earl Jones, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he lived right up the street from us in a pretty good sized property, and he left due to the fact that a lot of people knew he came to live over here.
Oh, okay.
We also had one of the Fonda's family
The what?
Fonda
Okay.
come and live
Okay.
here, and they left just frequently.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
that's as far as I know, some of the backstory.
Right.
And if you come back in this direction, this little pink house right there. That is one of the originals as well.
Okay.
I believe that's one of the originals, but I'm gonna make a turn this way, and were little hotels. This house is an original. It used to have a pool right here, all in this empty lot.
Oh, okay.
The lady was older, and they took advantage of her, and they took her property by having her sign. And that has happened a couple times here.
So this was an original house?
This is an original house as well.
Wow.
Like I said, a lot of these were empty in '84 when I came.
Right.
If you go to your left over here, this was little cabins that they would come to during the summertime and stay.
Oh, okay.
Hey everybody, we've got a big snake. Ooh, look at this sucker, guys. Can you see that, guys? That thing is huge. 4 feet long, maybe? Right here in Val Verde, California. That thing is beautiful, guys. Look at its colors, its details. There it goes, guys, up the wall. Ooh. So that's it for episode 3 of Expedition Adventures, Val Verde, California. This town has a history. It needs to be told, it needs to be shared, it needs to be known about. It should not be forgotten. When you come in off the highway, there's not even a sign that says there's a town here. There's a sign that says there's a park, and that's it. This is Expedition Adventures. I'm your host, K-Dog. Keep adventuring.
Sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I try to bring you down. You just gotta keep going. Keep going down that road, down that road.